Hey everybody, Sandman coming at you from home, Grundy, Virginia, on this very gorgeous fall day. It's sunny, there's a slight breeze, it's warm. I'm wearing shorts and t-shirt, tennies, beautiful weather. It's gorgeous. So this vlog is going to talk about my time, nearly 5 years, just a month shy of 5 years, that I was addicted to playing World of Warcraft. When I say addicted, I don't use the term loosely. I mean it in the sense of the word, compared to drug or alcohol addiction to any one of, there's multiple things you can be addicted to in life, including, gaming. Gaming is addicted. Massive multiplayer online RPGs, and particularly MMOs, World of Warcraft. I had played MMOs prior to Warcraft, but never got as jacked in, to say the Matrix term, jacked in, as I did with WoW. It all started in 2004. The game launched that November, and a good friend of mine, close friend from Louisiana, we don't talk as much as we used to. We text each other every now and then. A good buddy of mine, he got it, and he was telling me about, I had played the strategy game Warcrafts. We had Warcraft 3 and 2 and the first one. It was one of the earliest Windows games we had, was the original Orcs vs. Humans. Loved the game for a strategy game. When you were done playing it, you could put it down. It's a different ball game with WoW. So he invited me to try his account. So I logged in my computer with his information, downloaded the game. He borrowed the disc. I played on his account, and needless to say, I was hooked. I played a human warrior on a role-playing server. It was actually a West Coast server. It was set around West Coast time zone. And living in Louisiana, which was a central time zone, it was always a few hours off that everybody was scheduling raids and doing things, and it made it a tad difficult, but that didn't stop me from going deeper down the rabbit hole that is World of Warcraft. And I really hadn't played an MMO with that level of immersion. WoW just was... It allowed you to explore, it allowed you to quest solo, it allowed you to do group quests, it allowed you to do raiding, instances, dungeons, and it was just so polished, and the lore is so rich. Blizzard's renowned for their character creation and the time and the effort they put into the character designs and the classes. It was such a polished product for a launch title, Vanilla WoW. The term Vanilla WoW comes from, prior to Burning Crusade, the mounts were limited to land mounts. Yes, you could get faster mounts, but there was no flying just yet. Burning Crusade changed all that with the flying mount. But anyway, my character was human. I played Alliance. I had a Horde ult. I didn't use it very much. And I just fell in love with I helped create a guild. I was part in forming a guild early in the vanilla days that carried over into Burning Crusade, and that grew, and then eventually that guild died down and I joined a raiding guild. So I got to experience the casual, real close-knit guild, the one that you were always trying to partner with other guilds as small as you were, so you can go do the bigger raids like Molten Core. Molten Core back in the vanilla days was very difficult. The wind's about to blow my phone. Let's see, it's quite a gust. So yeah, I got to experience both sides of the guild addiction. Definitely made a lot of close relationships and friends of players that I met through raiding, players that I met through questing, players that I met through looking with group, and they turned out to be, genuinely good folks, good players, and it was just something for everybody. And there was a time where, logging into Warcraft when I get off of work, At the time, I was working at Office Depot, Louisiana. That was my job. It was a full-time job. I was actually on the breach of climbing the ranks there and entering entry-level management, and maybe it could have been a career for me, who knows. Hurricane Katrina happened. And after Katrina, I remember logging into Warcraft 30 days after Katrina. That's how long it took me to actually have access to computer, internet, and reestablish my account. Just the amount of support on my guild's webpage, because of most of the officers of the guild knew I lived in New Orleans, and they knew I was affected by Katrina, and they know I hadn't logged on in a month. So there was all kinds of, well wishes. Has anyone talked to, my character? His name was Gatsu, after sort of Berserk Gatsu. He's a human, mostly DPS, but I tank too. I love to tank. Just super touched for them to be so concerned about my well-being and how I was. And it was great to come back and feel, so welcomed and, loved. And the friendships I had on there, they felt genuine to me. A couple of friends, we would get on Ventrilo or TeamSpeak, and we'd just talk casually. In the game world, you were supposed to chat, role-playing, but that kind of died off too, even though it was an RP server. It got real casual. But the addiction part came after Katrina, because I no longer had a steady job. I was in a new state, a new city, a new town, a new living situation with my parents and my brother. And I went from having all these other things in my life in place, past relationships, work, friends, and then those things were taken by the storm, and we were dislocated, and we had to start fresh here. So in that time of me making a new life for myself, Warcraft was a very, very big cushion, a blanket of me feeling secure. When I was in Warcraft, the world felt normal. It didn't matter where I was in real life. When I was logged into my server, playing my character and interacting with my friends and guild online, everything felt fine. I felt better than I did when I wasn't logged in, and that led to me picking up some pretty unhealthy habits, playing all night long and then sleeping during the day, and as soon as I was up, I'd eat I'd gorge myself, and then I'd get back on Warcraft. Needless to say, I gained a majority of the weight that I carry around now. My weight struggles, I was always heavy set. I've always been a heavy set, stocky guy since, from middle school forward. I gained so much additional weight during the period where all I wanted to do was play WoW, eat and sleep, and play WoW, and it got really bad. It got like Howard Hughes bad, and I used the way the game made me feel. There were some genuine times that I just felt so great about myself, about achievements I made in the game, as far as completing raids and getting achievements and having rare mounts, and there was just an endless list of things you could do and accomplish, and it was all there for you in a format that was easy to follow, and it really made me put my actual life on the back burner. So fast forward to 2009, I had lived in Ohio for going on 2 years. My first marriage had just came to an end, and I was moving back to Grundy. We're moving back to Virginia because this is where Dad, Mom, and Charlie were. I didn't have any family in Ohio, but I had made some friendships at my job there. Shout out to the West 150th Wendy's crew. You guys know who you are. I had friends, and I had went to school for manufacturing, from machine operation actually, and that was kind of like disappearing in the Cleveland area, in the Ohio area, like factory jobs. That was when the beginning of the whole we're not producing stuff here anymore. We're outsourcing it. We're getting it shipped in. So I didn't have any family, and my career didn't make the turn I wanted it to make in Ohio. So I came back down here because I missed my folks. I missed my brother. I wanted to rework on rekindling my relationship with my family, and at that point I decided to go ahead and disconnect from Warcraft, because playing it was a big reason of how my first wife and I got together. And I mean, I hope that she and her son are doing great, and I'm not sure, we haven't talked in years, since 2009. But I knew I wanted to move away from that and start over, and start to give a care about who I really was in the real world. And, you know, then meeting Samantha and rebuilding my relationship with my family took precedence. So the last time I logged in was around this time in 2009, and that was when they were doing the 5-year anniversary. They had just released the Lich King content. You can actually go to Icecrown and fight Arthas and stuff. I didn't get to experience any of that because I stepped away. The last thing I think I did raid-wide was they re-released Onyxia, and I had all tier 8, 8.5. My warrior was decked out. I had all the gear to go to Icecrown. It was time for me to separate from the game and focus on me, the person. So I didn't log in. I logged in that day because they actually gave me, I had let my account die, and Blizzard sent me an email saying, "We miss you. Come back. We're doing the 5-year anniversary. At least come back and play for a week on us, no charge, and we'll give you a pet because you've been playing long." It was something to that nature. And I did log in, and I got the pet, and I got whispered by a few friends who were surprised to see me logged in after weeks ago telling them I was done. But that was the last time I logged into WoW, and now they're going on, I think they're going to be celebrating 14 years. If they haven't hit it already, there's a new expansion coming out. The game has thrived on, and it's transformed. It's completely different than when I played it. Wrath of the Lich King was the last time I was heavily invested, so I didn't get to experience any of the content after that. 80 was the limit, and we were working on the Icecrown stuff. We were working on you know, getting farming the Argent Dawn stuff they had out there for level 80s and stuff. The Onyxia relaunch. I know they were going to redo multi-core. So I didn't get to experience any of that, and that's okay. I just knew I needed to step away. But if you would ask me, was World of Warcraft one of the best games I ever played, I would say yes, because there was genuinely times in that game that I got such exhilaration and such good memories of just pulling off what we pulled off as groups and as guild members and individually. And it was a great game. I mean, Blizzard is a master of the craft. The lore that they pour into those games and the characters, especially Arthas, the arc of Arthas and his story from going from Paladin to Death Knight to the Lich King. It was all so captivating, and there was just never a lack of story content. It was so rich, and the worlds were so immersive, and you just felt, to me, it was the equivalent of jacking into the Matrix. Would I ever play again? I don't have a PC that can run WoW the way it is now. It's more, like I said, it's a whole new animal. The engine has changed. The last inspection pack, I know they've made some changes since then. I mean, if I had a computer, would I ever? I don't know. That's a good question. If it ever goes to like completely free to play, maybe. But I would have to play with parameters, safety parameters, so I wouldn't fall into the level of addiction that I was in. So yeah, this has been my little story time about my addiction to World of Warcraft. Just wanted share that. It's been 8 years since I logged in, but I had played for a month shy of 5 years from vanilla until this time in 2009. So that's my story. Maybe you were addicted to WoW. Maybe you still play WoW, or you had another MMO that got you. I just wanted to share my experience. So comment below if you have a similar story or you had questions. You know, that'd be great. So that's the end of this video. Hope y'all have a great day. Looking forward to doing some collaborative videos with my man RC Cola of Cola Break. That's coming up soon. We're going to be talking spoilers with Thor Ragnarok and also season 2 of Stranger Things. So looking forward to doing that. So we'll end this right here. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. And that's the end of that. Thank you guys. Catch you on the next upload.